Amen. Thank you very much. Let us be seated. Today we want to continue on our series of fruitfulness, and we want to see the topic timelines to fruitful season. Timeline to fruitful season, a case study of Joseph. When you're talking of fruitfulness, it encompasses growth, success, victory, ability to conclude what you planned, ability to look back and say, Ebenezer, and say, thank you. Fruitfulness means to be able to achieve your dreams, to be able to achieve the purpose why you left your origin to a particular place, why you pick up a career, why you pick up a relationship, why you pick up an investment, why you set on a journey. You know, as I said, it encompasses quite a lot of things depending on which area you are looking at it from. In Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to 18, Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to 8, which makes us understand that there is time for everything. There is time for everything. Time to be born and time to die. Time to plant and time to harvest. Now, if you now put it on a scale, when a baby is born or when a child is born and when that child dies, if you can easily analyze the timeline of that child when he was born, depending on the area. Let's say case study here in Hungary, go to school, primary school, high school, university, and then what? Get a job, get married, with a good wife or good husband, as the case may be. You get a good time in your place of career, get promoted, you have children or one child, as the case may be. Then you become grandpa or grandma. Maybe you did your PhD, you write an article, and you always look at the article you publish, or you wrote a book. You look back. I'm talking about timeline now. You look back. You know, your children will grow up and say, oh, Daddy, this was what you wrote. And yes, I wrote this. You know, these are things that people live for. Ability to be an achiever. Ability to be able to point to something significant. All right? So you tell your children what you have achieved, and no one will be able to be retired, or you are probably just living on your pension with your mortgage that you have finished paying. All that remains now is you and your wife, you know, enjoying the fruit of your labor. Then you can go to Tokyo, South Korea, Lagos, anywhere for holiday. And after a while, your heart stops beating. Finished your race. Job chapter 14, verse 1. Job 14, verse 1. In short, there is need for us to read the 22 verses, but because of time, we won't be able to read it. Not that we cannot, but because of time. But look at Job chapter 14, verse 1. Man who is born of woman is of few days and full of trouble. It comes forth like a flower and fades away. It flees like a shadow and does not continue. Do you open your eyes on such a one and bring me to judgment with yourself? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? No one. Verse 7 says, for there is hope for a tree if it cuts down, that it's sprout again, and that its tender shoots will not cease, though its roots may grow old in the earth, and its stumps may die in the ground. Yet, at the scent of water, it will bud and bring forth branches like a plant. But man dies and is laid away. Indeed, he breathes his last, and where is he? As water disappears from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dries up, so man lies down and does not rise. Till the heavens are no more, they will not awake, nor be roused from their sleep. Oh, that thou hide me in the... it goes on, as I said, it's so tempting to read the whole verses, but come on, let's go home and read it. This morning's presentation, dear brethren, is more philosophical than prophetical. Last week, we looked at the case of prophecy in line with fruitfulness. But today, we want to see philosophy. Well, because it's part of the scripture. That was why I started with Eclipse. During the watch night, I said, Eclipse chapter 3, verse 1 to 8, it's a combination of natural occurrences, philosophical occurrences, social occurrences, spiritual occurrences. When I say philosophical, it's there is time to embrace and time to disembrace, time to start and time to stop. The philosopher will tell you the same. That's the scripture. The scripture it has philosophical content, natural content, science content, spiritual content, history, case studies, events, individual, name it. It's there in the 65 books of the Bible. So, today, this afternoon's teaching is case studying the life of one man that made mention of the word fruitfulness in his testimony. Because we are looking at fruitfulness, where we want to be fruitful. As I say, fruitfulness does not only come through prophetic, our prayer, our fasting. No, it's a bit also philosophical. And when I now travel back to history, I decided to go and look for Joseph and bring his case study to life to us this afternoon. Genesis chapter 37. So when I met Joseph, because these people are still alive, at least their words, what they've written in their life. When you write a book about yourself, although you may not be there, but you can be alive when somebody is reading your case study. All right? In Genesis chapter 37, now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. Verse 2. This is a history of Jacob. All right? Then Joseph being 17 years. So the case study is Joseph. So Joseph will now tell you, hello, brethren, my name is Joseph. At this point, I was 17 years old. Just case studies, if you start from that and end in Genesis 50, dear brothers and sisters, you will see the case study of a man who was fruitful. And he will tell you what it means to be fruitful based on his own experience. And as students, there is nothing that can be as alive as case studying an individual. We're all master students, BSc students or PhD students. Most of what we do, our researches, is it not case study? Project management and etc. They will also have case study what went wrong, what didn't they do well. Thank God when I was doing the stuff with in IPS, I was so happy that I was in Tyro's group. It made the whole thing very easy for me then. They gave us this project. Is this stimulation or simulations and because all these are our institutions. Is it not case study? Is it not they're telling you, diagnose this person? What could have been done better? What lesson can we learn? Then we put it, we bring it up to date and inculcate that into our lives and integrate that in our syllabus. Then it becomes a learning point for students. The students will grow, they will put into practice what they've been told, they too will not teach others. That's all. So Joseph here, 10 things because of time about Joseph. Number 1, he came from a very wealthy family. Genesis 37, we're told that, we know Jacob was wealthy. We know the story. I think we studied Jacob 2 Sundays ago, how God blessed him and how God prospered him. All right, now Joseph, he came from a wealthy family. It doesn't matter whether we are born with golden spoon or not. At least we were born. At least we're all here. It doesn't matter who our father is or was, who our parent was. They've done their bits. We've been born. We don't decide who our parents are. My brother decide who your parent is. No. Forget about, I wish the girl is my father. Please swallow that. You don't have any say over that. You'll be born. Alright? And please, let's try and be proud of our parents. Some people, they don't like, I don't know, because of some mentality, they don't like to proudly showcase their parents. Let's try and respect that. So Joseph, number one, he had his own beautiful family. That's that. Number two, he had and discovered his divine purpose. Verse 5. Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brother. We should, this 2018, we should have purpose. I told us that all of us should have diary. What we want to do, projects, business, investment, relationship, where you want to go in 2018. We should have diary so as to be able to guide our life well. If you meet somebody that has a professional exam to do and is very serious, he manages to come to church. And after church, I say, brother, can you have coffee? He say, I would have loved to, but I can't. Or somebody that has an appointment with his investment partners, you start to somebody that is busy. Or somebody will tell you, I remember I asked one of our ministers to do some certain things, and he said, Pastor, I would have loved to, but I have this book, I have this article I must publish. Wow. I was impressed. And people are busy. Some of us, we are watching movies. All we do is movie. And I don't know what we sleep. Let us please have a dream. Here, Joseph said, I had a dream. Well, not Martin Luther's one, His own is much more, you understand? At least that dream he had was actually the focus of his life. What is your own dream? I'm not trying to be confrontational. My brother, you have a plan for 2018? Have you written it down? Holy Spirit, they hear you. It's alright. I know we talked last year. Yeah. So please, let's have a dream. Let's have a purpose. Okay, this is January. By first quarter of this year, I want to achieve this. By half of this year, I want to finish this. By October, by December, I want to be able to look back and say 2018 indeed has been profitable. Yes, so. I beg you, please. If not, we are just be wasting our time speaking in tongue and fasting for 100 days. Honestly, after 100 days, you'll just be skinny. Nothing will happen. Or probably you must have prayed for others. And some of us, we know how to do this thing religiously. I'm fasting. Oh, I am this. And some people derive pleasure in that. Church. Prayer. Etc. But it's just forms. No substance in it. So please, let's have a dream. For Joseph, you can't blame Joseph because that dream was not his own. That's different. Alright? God can give you a dream. Honestly, God give you a dream. It's not easy. It's like a load. Honestly. It's like a load. When David was ordained to be a king, for almost 21, 25 years, that guy suffered. He learned the lessons of his life from the hand of Saul. Because Saul discovered that you will be the king after me. Kings don't like to see potential threats. Particularly when they have son. Come on. So when I die, you will take all this glory? What about my son? Even if he does not have a son, the fact that there is somebody that is going to take over, to create this natural hatred. That was exactly that actually drove David. It made David stronger. If you have a dream, it's a burden. Alright? You will control what you eat. You won't be eating pounded yam like me at night. Because you have to read. Alright? You don't waste time with people. To you, time is precious. 24 hours. You watch 2 movies. Like maybe an average of, what's that movie that you always watch? Alright? Or game. Come on, see, Gabriel will tell you, my son. One time I was playing game for like 3-4 hours. I went out, I came back. I said, Betty, sorry, I'm sure he's listening now because he watches me. I said, Gabriel, stop. He said, okay, then. You know, and some adults are like that. So please, let's have a dream and don't, if God has not given us a dream, we should dream ourselves. As in, give yourself one. As in, aim for one. Let other people's story, what's the word? Inspire you, exactly. You finish BSc, and after master. Well, if you're not good for, maybe if you're not somebody like Tayo and the rest that are PhD stuff, get your business MBA. If you have an MBA, fine. Okay, why do you have MBA? Is it not for business? So where is the business? If I should give you money to do MBA, I will expect you to have your own business. All right, let's be radical, dear brothers and sisters. Joseph had a dream. From verse, I want to encourage us to go home and listen to this message because our time will not, and I will be a bit. So from verses 5 to 10, talk about the dream. Now the dream he now told his brothers and sisters. Remember, he was 17. Sorry, he told his brother, told his father. All right, there is nothing wrong with that. He had a dream and discovered his divine purpose. So as I've said, let us please discover our divine purpose. Number 3. That discovery led to his being hated. His being hated. Because of he discovered that, he told his dad, nothing wrong with that. He told his brothers and sisters. Why do I keep saying sisters? Maybe he had one. Anyway, he just told people. There's nothing wrong with you sharing your dream with someone. But that may actually, it can create an hatred. Alright? It can. This is the truth. Because we are still natural. So, you want to be this. So that's why you need to make sure you be careful who you share your dreams with. Be careful who you share your plans with. Be careful who you share your business ideas with. Be careful who you share what you intend to do with. Right? So Joseph, he did not have it. It was out of the innocency of his mind. He told his brethren. So when you write prayer requests, please, what you are trying to say is that I have this desire, I have this goal, I have this dream. Please pray along with me. As brethren, it's not for us to now gossip with it. And besides that, there's nothing wrong in you even writing prayer requests and don't write your name. That's why we encourage people writing prayer requests. You don't need to write your name. What you are doing is that, just like Joseph did, I had a dream, please pray along with me. Okay? That is important. So as I said, for Joseph, it led to him being hated. Some, they may encourage you. That's why some good mentors will mentor you. Some will like you. Your parents will like you if it is good and they will support you for that. Some people will put you down. So expect mixed feelings, all right? But before you even tell anybody, pray about it. Make sure you are convinced that this is your goal, not somebody else's goal, not somebody else's dream. All right, number four. The hatred led him into the pit. Genesis 37, 23 to 24. Genesis 37, 23 to 24. 23 says, so it came to pass, when Joseph had come to his brothers, that they stripped Joseph of his tunic. Now look at this timeline. His father sent him. If he had disobeyed his father, if he said, oh, father, I won't go, he wouldn't have met his brother. The brother wouldn't have put him into the pit. Alright? They wouldn't have sold him to Egypt. He wouldn't have been a slave. He wouldn't have been in prison. He wouldn't have become a prime minister. Timeline. So and so. Please, next Sunday, you will go to Kaposta. Say, Pastor, I know they go. And you say, Pastor, but you could just call me your pastor. Not even good reasons. Or your daddy said, so and so, do this. The man, naturally, one is your father or is your boss. He just, boss gives instructions. Your own is so, because one, that is what you are employed for. Two, if you are a worker, that is why you are a worker. If you are a minister, that is why you are a minister. It's just like that. He has my phone number. Because all the national coordinators, he has a number. So, okay, Dada, please, can you come tomorrow? Even if I don't have the money, I will get it anywhere. Because Daddy comes for me. You understand? Let's be sensitive to life. You know, as I said, this is philosophical. This is what you can get from executive training. You understand? Because some of these trainings, they use case study from the Bible. In short, there was one, I gave one trainer an idea, Jesus in business. He said, Pastor, you don't know what you've done. You just gave me, and now this woman actually used that to do a training in New York. And she was listed among the top, well, I'm not saying because of that alone, you know, she was listed among the top sought for an African trainer in America, just because of that. All right? So, what I'm saying here, brothers and sisters, is that we should please obey. So, going back to Genesis 37, verse 23, so it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers, that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors, that's the coat of many colors, some version would say, that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. What was the need for those emphasis? So that you can get the clearer picture. Maybe some of us are in the pit now. When you're in the pit, don't be speaking in tongues. Take me out here. No. Say, okay, I am here. Is it the worst? You understand? Some of us, this our religious thing, blindfold us from seeing the path we need to take before we get to our destiny. That's why nothing has happened. It's the most prayer conference. To be very honest, if we really want to see the outcome, discover that there's nothing really, or maybe a very lower percentage compared to amount of heights and adverts, and you understand? Simply because some people want to fast forward their time. You don't have. Sometimes we'll be made to believe. Fast forward my miracle. Fast forward, hang on. You have to grow. You have to go through it. When you plant a maize, those of you who are doing agriculture, is it not by a particular period? It will have to grow. Plant palm kernel. Sorry, is that the right word? You know, the period of maize is different from what? Palm kernel. Before palm kernel can become fruitful, you will have planted you will have had maybe 4 or 5 seasons of maize. It depends on what you have, on God's plan for your life, your dream, your idea. You understand? So for Joseph, because of his dream, because of your idea, people can hate you, and that hatred, they can create some scenarios in your life that can discourage you. But please, don't be discouraged. All right? And so, when you are beginning to see some heat like that, it's a conviction that what you have is real. All right? Number 5. It was sold for 20 pieces of silver. Genesis 37 from verses 25 to 28. And verse 25, and they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camel, bearing spices, balm and myrrh on their way to carry them to Egypt. So Judah said to his brother, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelite, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. Then Midianite traders passed by. So the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelite for 20 shekels of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. You can see how the timeline. When you were in secondary school, you never thought of coming to Hungary. But when you finished secondary school, you went to the university. Innocently, you were doing your BSc. Lo and behold, your parents heard about scholarship. Or maybe you heard about scholarship. And you said, let me try. You tried. You did not do who knows who. Or if somebody did who knows who, that's not your own business. Any parent who wants to do knows to make sure that his or child, but regardless of, lo and behold, you find yourself here in Hungary, you finish the scholarship, the program, or probably in the middle of the scholarship. Shouldn't you know or be conscious of the fact that, hang on, what's going on? What's going on, God? Do you have a dream for me that I don't know? Why am I here? Out of hundreds, maybe 5 of you were taken. Was it because we're better off? No, that means God has a plan. If you have not discovered that, please just note now. Just pause whatever it is you are doing now and look back. Look at the timeline of your life. And ask yourself, God, where are you leading me to? Ask yourself, what have you done? Alright? So just imagine Joseph was at this stage of his life, when he went to Egypt, he came to church and he's hearing this message. He said, wow, well, preacher, I think you're making sense. He will now, he will only be able to see Egypt. Okay, I'm in Egypt. Now what? Alright? I'm sure he wouldn't have thought that at the end of the day, this is where he's going. All he can only do is say, God, at least thank God I'm alive. Thank God I'm no more in the pit. Remember, that was why I read Job 14. Even though you are cut off, if a tree is cut off, there is hope for that tree because of the roots. All that root needs is just water. It's the scent of water. It will come back. What is your life? What is the stage? What have you been through? What have you been through? Failure, rejection, but you are still in Hungary. You are still marching forward. God is taking you to your destiny. Amen. To that dream. To that some of you don't even know your dream, but today you should discover your dream. Amen. And when you discover it, the good God of heaven will help you to pass through whether it is in the pit, whether it's outside the pit, wherever it is, the hand of God will guide you into your fruitful season in Jesus' name. Amen. It was sold for 20 pieces. Number 6. Because of his dream, he told it to his brethren. Brethren hated him. Because of that, they put him in the pit. And because of that, they sold him. Number 6, he served in Potiphar's house. Genesis 37, verse 36. We're told that 37 verse 36 says, and now the Midianite had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. We know the story. Chapter 38 is just another digression about Judah. And if you now go back to chapter 39, it continues the life story of Joseph in Potiphar's house. Chapter 39, he was I said the 6th one, he served in Potiphar's house. Now, chapter number 7, in Potiphar's house, some made us to believe that he served there for like 11 years. Alright, remember he was 17 when he had a dream. Alright, and this is where he's going. When he was prime minister, it was 30 years. So do the calculation. 17 years old boy. Ebubi, how old are you?
27.
When you come to Hungary, came to Hungary, how old were you?
17.
That's another Joseph. Teenagers. 17. So just imagine somebody like Ebubi. I was speaking with somebody yesterday. I don't know if she would like me to. He said, the pastor, I'm going to that country for the first time. After we were just having tea, and he said, I can't imagine I'm going out of my family for the first time. Some of you, the first time you'll be going out of your family. So, that's why your parents will say, Pastor, have you called your son? I said, yes. I'm even talking to my son now. Your parents, your mother, say, because you can imagine how a parent will feel that, hey, my child, in that strange land. So some of you, if you see some Nigerian number on the WhatsApp group, it belongs to some of our parents. Okay? So that is why I was talking to someone one day. If the person don't know that his own dad is on the church platform, he said, then the other say, I they see what they do. The guy said, how come? Because it creates, confidence in the life of the parents. Where is what's this guy's name? Joshua. Stand up. That's another case study. Sit down. Daddy said, Pastor, thank God for you and your son. You know, as if, so when I say how many children, you know, he's just caretaker. Just picture Joseph, 17 years old. And you know, this time around, unfortunately for Jacob, he did not even know where he was. The father did not know where he was. Because, you know, at that age, you have the tendency to be wayward, to be prodigal. To say, I'm free, no more daddy, no more mommy, I can do what I like. You can sleep with a girl, live with a girl, go party, do whatever, drink, and still be. But hang on, your lifetime, will your parents be happy to really see that? All right. Joseph was in Potiphar's house, number 7. He maintained his integrity in the face of temptation. You remember somebody that had a dream, that had a vision, that had a plan. All right, temptation. That even the lady, Genesis 39, you know, he lived there for 11 years, give and take. It was not just 1 day or 2 weeks. No, so it was part. It was another life. I'm sure he must have been pleased with that compared to the kids. All right, because we're told that from verse 7 to 9 that. Okay, let's take from verse 7. And it came to pass, chapter 39, verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph. So beware of longing eyes. And she said, lie with me. All right. But he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what is with me. My master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There is no greater in this house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. Now look at a man that fears God. Look at what he said. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against my master? Against my master? But against God. He said, listen, this is not about my master now. I'm in charge here. He has entrusted everything. So that means I can as well do whatever you're asking me for. And I will trust your quietness, your silence, yes. And he will still meet with his master and do eye service, not knowing that he's messing up with his wife. But he said, hang on. It's not about the master now, but about God. Because he knew that God was the one that delivered him from the pits, where he's supposed to have died, that allowed the Ishmaelite to buy him for 20 shekel, and also sold him and gave him parts. Do you think Hungary is worse? No. Look back. Where would you rather be? In the pits or in Potiphar's house? Because it is part of your timeline to your destiny. So every little discomfort you have in life, my dear brothers and sisters, as a Christian, I'm not talking about discomfort you have because of your stupidity. I'm talking about that is where you just find yourself. Don't complain, key into it, and get the best of it. Alright? So that is for that. Because of time, number 8. That actually, we know the story. That actually led to the woman. Women sometimes the Lord will help you. That was the same thing they did to Ada. We love you actually, and we are praying for you. I mean, they are indispensable. I mean, you can't do without them. No, who say her? Is it not true? No. Hallelujah. Amen. All right. Number 8. He was in prison for 2 years. Now this is important. This is important. Some of you fear prison. But hang on, prison sometimes is part of the timeline. Prison is a kind of confinement, something that confines you. It's as if it was not enough for Joseph. He passed in Potiphar's house because if he had not faced the temptation, if he had not said that one, sorry, stop. Some of us, going back to number 7, some of us don't have the willpower to say no. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I respect ladies in particular that are very difficult to approach. Some ladies just create a boundary for themselves, which is good. It's a defense mechanism. You don't just hold my hand or touch me. Naturally, I don't do that. And if somebody I will marry, my wife, I wouldn't want to marry a lady because she's watching, trust me, she's going to protect me. I wouldn't want to marry a lady that's been messed up. I mean, as a man, so that's why our sisters, please, let's try and be careful. Maybe we don't know all these things, it will backfire later on. You've dated this, and now you now marry your husband. And we know that you've dated this, what honor is in that? What honor? And you know the essence of the white garment? I'm a virgin. Seriously? It's different if probably that person was raped or hand robbed, but you carelessly throw yourself out like that. And you allow some idiots, I love you, with their suit and all this, their tie and all this, and you just throw away your honor. It's disgusting. There are some gentlemen, even not Christian, they say, excuse me, are you, because it won't give them any honor at all. So with that, you should keep your body. So try and create that boundary. All right? If you lack it, pray for the grace to be a person of honor. Joseph was honorable. When Joseph eventually became prime minister, how do you think that lady would have said, this guy is going to kill me? But if Joseph had messed up with her, she would go to, and probably one way or the other, Joseph became prime minister. She will be the one ruling Egypt. Where, we just do remote. Most of these leaders, they are remote. If you do, when you say blackmail, I hate it. That's where I don't, a man can lose all he has because of one stupid mistake. And these days of phone, they will just picture you, say, she thinks you be pastor. If you don't pay me this money, I'm going to show your wife, or I'm going to show that GO, or even show your members. I mean, they show my members, you guys don't kill me, will you? But you don't want to show my wife or my son. Because to those ones, I'm like, God. Honestly, my wife, my children, So, but I want us to please be careful. We are living in a world of technology, a world of, going to that, please excuse me some minutes, we had the issue of some people, boyfriend, girlfriend, when the whole thing is good, they will be nude and take their pictures, and the innocent girl will not even know, not knowing that bad guy has something bad. When they are now no more, you will now threaten that, look, I will expose. I think there was a time when things like that were rampant. It still is blackmailing. And that was when you allow yourself to be loose, which can ruin your dream. Trump will tell you, we have been through a lot, but thank God, somebody like Trump is stubborn, and I like this guy for it, and even in England, somebody, there was a minister, one of the ministers that committed suicide just because they said they accused him of sexual perversion, something he did 30 years ago. They just blackmailed, and at the end of the day, when they investigated, they discovered that it was not even true, but he had committed suicide. How can I stand? So, brothers and sisters, don't let your mistake affect your dream, affect your plan. So, for Joseph, it is a good case study. So don't take the fact that he left Potiphar's wife lightly. Don't take it for granted. If the woman has been doing it over and over, pressure. So when she couldn't take it anymore, he now, approached it. So please, ladies, create that boundary. Those of you who have created it, please maintain it, but don't let it be too rigid, because you can send your husband away. You understand? But with wisdom. Number 8, he was in prison, as I said. Now, when he was in prison, I want us to read this striking verse. In prison. When he was in prison, Genesis chapter 39. So it was when his master heard the word, that is Potiphar, which his wife spake to him, saying, your servant did to me after this manner, and his anger was aroused. Who will not be aroused? Alright? Then Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison. Look, your stay here in Hungary may be like prison for you as a student. You that you are used to living big at home, now you are now sharing bed, four of you in the room. You now ask yourself, what am I doing here? But thank God you know why you are here. Alright? Those of you who are now living in big room, remember where you used to stay when you and somebody that you don't even like share the same beds because of the same room in the hostel. Alright, so for Joseph, it was in prison. At least it was in prison. Now look at a place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison. But look at verse 23. Sorry, verse 21. But the Lord was with Joseph. The Lord will be with you in Hungary. Amen. Your BSc time, you may think it's 4 years, but to some people it's like a prison. I mean, as a mentor, at least I have 2 or 3 that I mentored that they couldn't finish because they could not withstand the pressure. I mean, it almost turned them mad. They were misarrested. They were all sort of anchored. And some of you passed through BSc successfully. Some, they find it difficult. Some, they were so stupid. And I heard that some people had some sexual relationship and somebody was pregnant and the person ran away. And the parents will still calling me, are you seeing your child? All right, it's a prison. Anybody can be in prison. Prison is that confinement. He said, but the Lord will be with you. Amen. And, I continue, and God showed him mercy. That's what we need. In the prison, in the confinement, you need mercy. Alright? At least you are in that prison. You know, we call it justified mercy. It's not because you're a criminal. It's because you are stepping forward into your breakthrough. Alright? You are stepping forward. So long you made a decision to achieve your dream, you will pass through pit, Potiphar's wife. You will pass through prison, but in all, the Almighty God will be with you. Amen. You know, in Isaiah he said, you pass through water, I will be with you. You pass through fire, I will be with you. Shouldn't that tell you that it's part of the journey? But some people, because they say, I don't want, and you want to get to your destination. It doesn't work that way. But Mali said, people want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. How will you get to heaven? We're made the rapture. I mean, this is the reality of life. And it goes on. And Joseph showed him mercy. And he gave him favor. Another thing. Presence of God, you need it. Mercy of God, you need it. And favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Shouldn't you be praying for that? Lord, your presence with me where I go. Your mercy with me where I go. And your favor. You don't need to do some certain things because of that. It's just part of the package. Just pray. Alright? Now, while in prison, it was in prison that he mastered his gifts. It was in prison, he could only dream. But while in prison, sometimes when we are too comfortable, we won't be able to bring out the best in us. It was when Joseph was in prison that he felt, wow, I could even translate as well. Some of you are running from responsibilities. Come and beat drum. Come and do this. Come and, we are running. This is like a prison. It will bring out the gifts in us. Joshua, stand up again. When you started playing saxophone 2 years ago, you always play off tune. Yes or no? Yes. Good. Now, you're now a master. Sit down. Thank you very much. Our gift in us, please, this is like, I don't want to say this is bad, but let's call this training prison. To be able to bring out the best. Because Joseph, he discovered that, hang on, I could translate. Then he translated in verses, the key verse, we were told in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16, a man's gift makes room for him and bring him before great men. It was in prison that Joseph discovered his gift and he gave it out, and that led to him being referred to by Pharaoh. Number 9, Number 9, he became prime minister at age 30. That is Genesis 41, 14 to 57. He became what God said he would become at age 30. Alright? You will get to your dream in Jesus' name. Amen. This year, 2018, this season of fruitfulness, you will not be left out in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, I want you to see the testimony of Joseph in Genesis 41. This was where, he has been the one talking all this while. This is somebody, you've been following his timeline. Eventually became prime minister. We all know the story from verse 13. And it came to pass, Genesis 41:13. Genesis 41:13. And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, and we know the story there. Okay, that was how his gifts spoke for him before Pharaoh. The gift spoke for him. Right, sorry. So in the same chapter, after Joseph had been enthroned, in verse 46, Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Now, in the 7th plentiful year, the ground brought forth abundantly. So he gathered up all the food for the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the city. He laid up in every city the food of the field which surrounded them. Joseph gathered very much grain as the sound of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. Now look at verse 50. And to Joseph were born 2 sons. You will be fruitful. Amen. He said, and to Joseph was born 2 sons before the years of the famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. Now look at verse 51. Joseph called the name of the firstborn. What is the name? Let's say it out. What does that mean? For God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. You see all those peaks, temptation, sleepless nights, studying, research. We will get through all this. God will give you a Manasseh in Jesus' name. Amen. That way I did not hear you. Amen. Amen. Because we've been through a lot, and the Lord will give you testimonies in Jesus' name. Amen. It won't end there. And the name of the second he called who? Ephraim. What does that mean? You will be fruitful in Jesus' name. Amen. Remember, the topic is timeline to what? Fruitfulness. Come on, brethren. Timeline to what? Fruitfulness. Be patient. Avoid temptation. Avoid distraction. Just stick to the line. Exercise your gift. Be a worker. Just serve God. All these things are piling up to your fruitfulness. And so it will be in Jesus' name. Amen. Number 10, before we pray, because of what he did, he saved the lives of many, including his own, in times of famine. He saved the life of many. Genesis chapter 40, from verse 53 to 57, made us understand that he saved the life. Because the famine, we were told in verse 58, the famine was over all the face of the earth. That's how serious the famine was. So God knew that this famine is going to, affect the whole face of the earth. But I need somebody that will prevent it. That will prevent total eradication because of the famine. Alright? And God has a thought thank God our sister made us to pray, that God has a thought towards us. A thought of good and not of evil, to give us our expected end. So, for his own, they eventually came to him in chapter 42 to 45, the whole drama, the brother that sold him, but if you look at verse 45, let's look at 45 before we pray. It's very important, and he made a very important point. He revealed how God was with him. Genesis 45, then Joseph could not restrain himself before those who stood by him, and he cried out, "Make everyone go out from me." He was the boss now. So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brother. I love this part. Hollywood can make a good, or even Hollywood can make a good story out of this. And he wept aloud. And Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brother, please listen to this message, dear brother. It's like a summary of all we've been saying. Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Remember he started, I am Joseph. Alright? Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer him. Why? For they were dismayed in his presence. And Joseph said to his brothers, please come near to me. This is a fruitful symbol. You'll be a fruitful symbol in Jesus' name. I mean, those of you who travel to Nigeria in December, how do you feel? Like a boss, isn't it? Oh. The fact that, to them, you've come here to study, but you finish your study, at least God has blessed you. Victor, stand up. You went to Nigeria, isn't it? You are like did you do like this? You need to sit down. It's natural. If you had messed up, you couldn't even finish your program. How will you go back and do? There's nothing wrong in doing younger now. I mean, it's a good one, all right, because you work for it. So let's continue. Then Joseph said to him, but his brother could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. And Joseph said to his brother, please come near to me. So they came near. Then he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves, because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. All those stress, all those challenges that he went through was for the purpose of preserving life. For these 2 years, the famine has been in the land. And there are still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me before you. Hang on. God sent him before, to preserve a posterity for you and the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now, it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. We know the rest of the story. Our time is fast spent. We will fulfill our destinies in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's rise up, please. Let's rise up. I'm sure that will want me here as soon as possible. Let us thank God for what we've had today. We've been challenged. We've given you the case study of Joseph fulfilling our destiny. Say, Father, thank you for what you've told me today. I will fulfill my destiny. Oh, Lord, help me. God, help me, Lord, to be disciplined. Help me, Lord, to be focused. Help me, Lord, to understand seasons and time. Help me, Lord, to understand the people you will send my way. Help me to understand people you need to delete from my life. Help me, Lord, to know what to do, when to sow, when to invest, when to cut off, when to refrain from wasting time, when to have fun, and when to be busy. Help me, Father. Every destiny killer, every destiny anti-destiny that in my life, may you delete them. Let your fire